What's up guys, my name is Cal, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to play I Fought Piranhas by Jack White. It's a really groovy riff, it's just guitar, so it sounds really good by itself, which is always nice. He uses a slide and open tuning, which I'll show you guys how to do in a second here. It's just a really great song. I thought I would go ahead and teach it to you guys, because there's not, as far as I know, there's no videos on YouTube teaching you how to play this song, and it's kind of hard to pick out what notes he's playing, even for me. So I thought I would give it a shot and try and teach you guys how to play this song. So without further ado, let's get into the song. Okay, so to start out, as I mentioned before, you're going to need a slide, which looks like this. I use my third finger, but you can use whatever finger you want, whatever feels comfortable. I recommend either your third or your pinky, just because that lets you play with your other two fingers here, your first and your second finger, as well as your thumb. You can still hit individual notes as well as using the slide, but again, whatever feels comfortable. And now it is in open E tuning, which means you tune it E, B, E, G sharp, B, and E. Or just look up open E tuning if you didn't get that. So go ahead and tune your guitar to that, and then you should be able to start using the slide. And it should sound pretty good. So the song starts off, it's basically just second finger on the 3rd fret low E string, then first finger on the 2nd fret low E string, and then open E. So just like that. I'm going to refer to the strings as their actual names as opposed to what you've tuned them down to. So if I say, even though this is like G sharp, I'm just going to refer to it as G. And likewise, you know, A, and so on and so forth. So I hope that's not too confusing. That's just the way that I kind of want to do it. So anyway, and then you take your slide, place it on the strings, and slide up to the 12th fret. Just like that. And the way you use a slide, it's kind of hard to explain. You might have to look up proper technique, because I don't actually know myself, to be honest. But basically, you don't press down on the strings. You just sort of lightly, it's like the lightest press. And you want to slide it so that your slide is over the silver part here of the fret. So it's not in the middle like you normally when you hit a fret, you hit it in the middle. You want your slide on the very edge, right where that silver bar is. So even though it looks like my slide is on the 13th fret here, it's actually still on the 12th. Just like that. So anyway. So slide it up. Hit all the strings and slide it up, and then hit the E, the B, and the G. Just like that. And then after you do that, you go to put the slide on the 3rd fret, slide it up to the 4th, slide it back down to the 3rd, and then open. Just like that. And you can sort of, I'm hitting the D string right here, and sort of incorporating the G, the B, and the E as well. Now there's one variation what he does is instead of sliding up from the 3rd to the 4th, he just sort of goes, which is slide on the 3rd fret, hit that twice, again hitting the D there, and then open. he does that a couple times, and then he just goes into this, which is starting off the same way. And basically what he does here is it's just the same 3rd fret to the 2nd fret to open, and then he just sort of does these little interlude, like sort of hit all the strings, just open, hit the last 3 strings, which would be the E, the B, and the G, and then does a slide down. So I'm going to be teaching you a couple of those, and you sort of just mix them in here or there, whatever sounds good to you. So first one we have just a simple 3rd fret, 2nd fret open, and then hit down on the low E, the A, and the D. And then you can sort of throw the G in there if you really want to. Just sort of a low sounding hit there. And then he does it also high as well, so instead of doing the low sound, he does high, which is basically just taking your pick and dragging up from the bottom, so instead of downstroke, it's an upstroke, and you're hitting the E, the B, and the G. This is all open, of course. So those are 2 that you can alternate between. He also starts on the 12th fret and slides it down. So that's another one that you can sort of throw in there, mix around. And then he also does this, which is where you palm mute the strings, lay your palm flat across it, and then sort of drag the pick really hard, like kind of push down on it. It sounds kind of weird there, but like you can hear it sort of being pushed. It's like there's sort of resistance there instead of just hitting the strings. And then when you get to the last string, do the same little upstroke that you just learned. So he only does that like once, I think, after the first like solo. But anyway, those are some parts that you can sort of mix around, throw around. It sounds really good if you add a little bit of reverb on your amp. But other than that, that's the main part of the song. Now the other part, of course, is that the crazy solos that he does. And he uses a distortion pedal for this called the Big Muff by Pi. I think it's only like $40. You can buy it on Amazon or Sweetwater Music if you want to. Although any distortion pedal will do. You can also just do the same whatever settings you have in your amp. I'll throw a picture of my settings up right now. And it's basically just after doing that a couple of times with those different mixed interlude things. He turns on the distortion and then adds 3rd fret on the low E string, and then hits the 2nd fret on the low E string. And you're sort of hitting a bunch of strings there just to give it a really crunchy sound. And then you do twice open all strings, and then take your slide and go up to the 12th fret, and you sort of slide between the 12th fret and the 11th fret. So just like that. It's kind of confusing because I don't really know the exact number of times he does it and so forth. And this isn't exactly what he's doing, just to me it sounds like he's doing, so. And then you end with a 2, again, open E on all strings. And then you go back up to the 12th. And then you go down to the 5th fret, then to the 3rd fret, and hit that twice. So, all together. again end with 2 open strums. And then you go back up to the 12th fret, and then you like just basically up down, picking really fast, and then slide that up to the 15th fret and hit that twice. So. And then you go to slide from the 3rd fret up to the 5th fret, and then slide down and leave it open. And then go back into the little riff that we taught that I taught you earlier. So real slowly, that section sounds like this. And then you go through again the next verse there, and then he goes back into another chorus, which uses the same sort of techniques, just slightly different slides here and there. There's actually a video on YouTube of him playing this song from It Might Get Loud, an outtake that you can watch him slide those and try and figure out some of the more intricate parts yourself if you want to. But to me, that's what it sounds like he's doing on those solos there. So again, he goes through one more of those solos, then goes back into just the riff that I taught you earlier, and then he ends it really simple, which is just open E, 2nd fret, open E again, 3rd fret, 5th fret, back to the 3rd fret. And then a little hammer on, which is just open E, hammer on, and then pull off. And then just ends it with an upstroke of all the strings. So that's about as best as I can give it to you guys. That is the majority of the song right there. It's a really fun song to play. It's really good to practice slides. If you're just learning the technique of sliding, which, again, as I said before, I'm no expert at, so feel free to go ahead and look up tutorials specifically on that yourself. But yeah, it's a fun song. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you learned something, leave a like. It really means a lot. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and see you guys later.